All right. The Elgato Camlink 4K. I just got it. You're seeing it. I have my Sony a6500 hooked up. Obviously, the audio is coming from this microphone. Hopefully, it's loud enough. That always seems to be an issue with putting there. I try to get to 3 bars, which I'm seeing on my dashboard, 3 bars without blowing it out. So I'll keep trying to turn it up. I use the new camera option for live streaming, so I have no idea of the quality that's going out. Now, the iMac that is right next to this microphone, the fans have started to kick up immediately. So that's going to start leaking in. I do have a noise gate or some expansion. There we go. Turn that on. But this is how it looks. And I'm looking over to the side here because this is where I can see on the screen. It looks fantastic. I just did a live stream. Well, I just did a live stream here on YouTube where I used my phone to unbox and hook up the cam link. I really wanted to see right when I take this thing out of the box. By the way, I bought this. This wasn't sent to me. It's not a review. I will do a review, but I did pay for this with my own money. So all that craziness that's out there with making sure you say things, although I don't think I have to say anything because it's my own money, but you should know that. Anyways, cam link 4K. Oh, look at that. That's too much product placement, probably right there. They didn't pay for it. They should pay for it. But anyways, I did a live stream, took it out of the box, plugged in my Sony a6500, which I actually bought this dummy battery for. I was the dummy. I don't need this. My camera runs off of a battery pack. So this big juice link, is it juice box? Something like that, is powering my a6500, which I totally forgot because I came from Canon. I forgot when I ordered this thing that my camera can stream off of or be powered off of USB. So I have that big brick for an audio recorder for another project that I did. And so it's powering my camera, which is really cool. And you could do it off a smaller USB battery because the batteries on the a6500 are so bad. But I plugged it in, put in the HDMI, put in my USB port, which I traditionally have issues with. When I stick a USB camera in there, it's soft focus. So again, I'm using the camera option when you go into live streaming. I'm not using an encoder. So I don't know if this is just going out as 720, which would be a shame. It'd be too bad. I'll have to use like a cam OBS or something to get a higher resolution. I didn't optimize anything on the camera. The camera is going out at 4K. So I don't know if it should be spitting out 4K out of the HDMI. Is that a thing? I think so. And then all of it's being down res. That's probably also why the computer fans are going crazy. Who knows? I just did that live stream. Someone said, now you should actually flip on the camera on YouTube to see how it looks. And this is the result. So I mean, I've got that shallow depth of field. It's sharp. The colors are nice. Everything about it looks amazing, at least on my screen here and the dashboard. So there's a few of you here. I don't know how many. If someone wants to type into the chat and let me know how it's looking. I was a little concerned when I first saw these cam links. This is what I wanted originally, just because of the price. It's like $129 before tax, and that's like the cheapest way to take something like a camera that does HDMI and output it to the computer as a webcam. And then I literally went to buy the 1080 version and it was discontinued. I had checked the day before because it was during the holiday sales. I was looking for a sale, and then it was discontinued and they announced this. So I waited a couple more days, finally got this. I'll put the link in the description. It's now available. Same price as the 1080 version. Salazar got this on Amazon. I will drop a link, but I think you can get it off Amazon right now. And I think Amazon is selling it through the other distributor, whatever. And yeah, so same price. So I got the 4K version, even though I'm probably not going to use it for 4K. And in fact, I don't know if I'm going to actually use my a6500 to stream. So again, another reason I probably didn't need this dummy battery, because I'm probably not going to use the a6500 for streaming. I'm probably going to, they jacked the price. No, they didn't jack the price at all. It's the same price, the same exact price as the 1080 version. So don't get the 1080 version, which you can't find anymore. unless it's leftover somewhere. 4K same price, which is really cool. That's maybe one of the cooler things. And the price is so good anyways. But I'm probably gonna use my Canon. So I got another dummy battery. It's not here yet, but I have my T2i, which is my old Canon. This is my first DSLR ever. This big ugly lens. This lens was also my first. This Sigma 18 to 50. It's really cheap, old Sigma, and I don't think it's. I think it's okay. But anyways, this Canon DSLR. I got a dummy battery for this. I've got the 60D after this. This is my first one. The Sony is my third camera. Mirrorless, big chip sensor camera. And so I'm more willing to run this for an hour or an hour and a half as a live stream, even though I think since I'm not recording, it's not taxing the sensor that hard or very much. I'd rather take that chance with the Canon. So I'm okay if this one burns out because I don't use it much anymore. But I did start my YouTube channel with it, and I do use it sometimes. If I need two cameras, I'll put this in the rotation. But I got a dummy battery for this. It was only like $12 or something. So I'll probably even keep that one if I ever want to plug my A6500 into the wall or something like that. I have the dummy battery. I think that kit was only like $20. So probably not worth paying the price to ship it back. So I'll get the dummy battery for this, and the Roundtable is a podcast that I live stream on youtube.com/podcasters roundtable. And this will let me use these cameras. Now it's more of a setup for sure. My webcam is obviously a webcam that just goes in via USB, and that is oh, it didn't sound good back there. Oh. Knocked over the heater. All right. The C922. C920? I've said this camera so many times. It's the C920. Logitech. This thing is really good. And since I light my videos well or my live streams well, this thing looks fantastic. You're not going to get that shallow depth of field. It's not going to, I mean, that's really the biggest difference. Obviously, this renders color, dynamic range, things like that a little better. In fact, it might be a little hot. I could probably stand to drop it a minute. A minute? Hold on. Just one bit there might take a little of the shine off, but all I did was bump up the shutter speed, which is actually not what you should be doing, but I did it anyways. Bold move. Hell, audio out of sync. All right, so that's because, I mean, the camera is that, the audio is this, the stream is that. I've noticed that being an issue. So I would probably need to use like OBS and then offset the audio to compensate. So I'm not sure how much of that is a YouTube issue, how much of that is my setup. There's not much I could do about it. It is separate from the camera. So I don't know. So, that's not going to make a very good stream if the audio is very far out of stream. The Rode Video Mic Pro, I could switch to that, but it is too far away it would sound like garbage, quite honestly. But yeah, anyways, the key is, I said in the title that is so easy to use, is I just plugged it in. I even had the Hangout interface already sync fine from there. Okay, so Philippe says the sync is fine. So I'll look at it afterwards. I wouldn't be surprised if it's off, but hopefully, and again, this is literally out of the box. I've never tested this setup before. So I will fine tune it likely. Sometimes it's easier to use the webcam, but I do really obviously love the quality of this. And again, pulled it out of the box, already had the dashboard for the live stream pulled up, and it recognized the camera. Sometimes you got to reboot. Sometimes you need to redo the browser. It just saw the Elgato 4K listed as a camera. Again, I'm on a Mac, and it worked, although this is Windows and Mac compatible. So I think one of the cool things about this too is that it can do, I think the 1080 version only did 60p, and this does 30 frames, which I'd rather be at 30 frames. I'm not the type of person, and I think most people are lying. They can tell you the difference between, they can say they know the difference between 24 and 30. Most people in a blind test would not be able to tell you, even though I think a lot of those people who say they would not. And hey, there's Premiere Reviewer. Hey, I think you're the one that said flip on the camera. So here we are. Anyways, this does 30, and I think that's a difference. And I think I need to optimize for that. I'm not sure. I might have to optimize it's via software or something. You might be seeing 60. I have no idea. So yeah, it does HDMI up to 30. So it does 4K 30 frames. I want to do, it says does 1920 by 1080 up to 60. So I actually want to do 1920. Well, if I'm doing Hangouts, I think it only gives you 720, which sucks. But 1920 by 30 would be where I was at. I don't need to stream at 4K, but I could. Back to the Canon, just did a tongue click, which bothers me when my podcast hosts do that. So I should be better. But the question about this Canon T2i is that does it have clean HDMI? And it doesn't. Not even my 60D back there somewhere. 60D up there. It's blurred out. Got that shallow depth of field, so you can't tell. But it does. Neither of those have clean HDMI. But I do have. In fact, I wonder if the card is still in here. There is a card in here. It does not say. I'm blanking on the name of the firmware. Magic Lantern. It does not say. I have Magic Lantern on one of my SD cards. So I put Magic Lantern on here, which I'm also not concerned about because it's stable from what I've seen. And because this is my old camera, that'll give me the clean HDMI that I need to stream with the Canon Rebel series. Now, I did show how to do that via the USB, which was really cool. So it can be done via the USB with clean HDMI because it's not really clean HDMI. It's coming out of the USB and you're monitoring. Anyways, there's a Camera Live app. I showed how to do that. It's on this channel. So if you want to do it via USB, you can run it through an app and do that. You can have 15 frames per second motion stop show. Sure. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. I'm not going to do stop motion, but I could definitely drop the frame rate and mess around. Fuji released a camera with 15 frames per second 4K video. That's funny. And so anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to, this is it. And I don't think I have a lot to say other than I'm happy with the very early first results. Plugging it in was recognized immediately. It looks good. It doesn't look like 60p, but I need to figure out what it's doing, where those stats are, and everything. So hopefully the audio's not too out of sync, not bad. I'll have to look into that and see if it is, and then adjust for that. Again, so all of these things, I do the roundtable, podcasters roundtable, and I'm usually running behind setups on that involves lights and different recording setups and all kinds of stuff. So I'm usually running, and so just putting in a USB camera and it still looks good. I get a little bump on this. Well, not a little. It's a pretty big difference between a webcam, which if I had it plugged in, I could show you, but I don't. The difference. But I don't do a lot of live streams other than that. But I'll probably use this because I have it. But I'm just happy that I can. Gear junkies here on this channel wanted to try it out, and so I've been. It's so far so good. There's probably a lot more I could do with this, but it is very cool to be able to use a mirrorless or a DSLR as a webcam. Audio is not out of sync for Premiere Reviewer, so that's good. Have you had any crashes yet? So no, it has not crashed. Hopefully it will not crash. Obviously, I'll put that to the real test when I do a stream for over an hour. That show is bi-weekly and it goes over an hour. And if it's going to crash, it's going to do it then. So that'll be interesting. Also, how much it's going to kick up these fans. Again, if I can hopefully I can set my camera to push something lower res out of the 6500 or even when I go out of here. If Hangouts is only 720, I might as well send out 720. I don't know if I can do that there. I don't know what I can go down to on the Sony, but I'll mess around with those things. It'll probably, the fans on IMAX tend to just spin when you do just a little bit of stuff. So I'm sure it will, it'll spin no matter what. But obviously, I'd want to optimize it. But if it has to do with downscaling, is that being done through the cam link? I mean, we don't want to, that can make it work too. So maybe if we just match the specs of YouTube, it'll be better. I want one to replace my Blackmagic Design Studio Mini recorder. I don't know how you clap. I did see someone did clap. That was cool. Thank you. I don't know what that does when it says clap. Does it make a noise? I don't know. The original can hog bandwidth, so it tends to freeze up. Some people, including me, had to separate the cam link on a separate USB bus. Separate it from what? The original hog up bandwidth. So you separated it from what? Audio? But it's amazing when you get it stable. Cool. So the cam link does the downscaling, Premiere Reviewer saying, so that's cool. And yeah, that's it. It's all I think again, James, I think it's about optimizing it. And so I'll work on that. And I don't know if I think I heard you have to get some software from Camlink to enable the 30. So I don't know if it's doing 60 right now. Doesn't look like 60. Again, that's the difference. I was saying that most people, I think I interrupted myself when I was saying that most people I don't think can pick off 24 and 30, even though they say they can. But 60, when you double that, that's obvious. When I turn on a 60p stream, it's really just so it's so crisp that you can really tell the difference when 60 comes along. So that I believe because you do you see it for sure. The original one can downscale a 4K signal. Oh, that's cool. So I don't know where the downscaling is happening right now. If I'm sending 4K into the cam link and then YouTube, is YouTube doing the downscaling? Because they have the encoder, especially since I'm doing it through the camera option of the live stream section of YouTube. I was reading about that really quick. I was trying to find out what the resolution of that is because knowing that Hangouts is 720, but you can live stream it. Can you live stream at 4K? I think you probably can if you use an encoder of your own. But when you go through the camera option, which is like a webcam, I'm not sure why they have that over the Hangouts thing. So this is like, anyways, that automatic connection to it might be much lower res. So this might be 720 as well. I don't know if can you click the resolution thing and does it tell you what you're getting? And obviously it depends on your bandwidth, but if nobody's getting 1080, if everyone's seeing 720, then it's only going out at 720. Yeah, with OBS, I have OBS sitting right here. It's just that's another thing to open up, put in the numbers and stream. So 1080. All right. So Alexandra says 1080. If I'm getting 1080 out of this for live, where I didn't have to use a separate encoder, obviously OBS is awesome for a lot of reasons, and I love it. But if I'm getting it by just going direct to YouTube 1080, that would be fantastic. So you could live stream, but you would need a hefty connection to achieve it. But on YouTube, you should be able to. Yeah, I mean, I have a great pipe here. I'm on fiber with 100 up, 100 down. That doesn't mean that it's always stable. And in fact, right about now, around 5 o'clock here on the West Coast, it seems to become very unstable. At least if I try to do any kind of gaming, it's not stable, like gaming in the cloud. And I could stream YouTube 1080 at 60. Wait, James, you're getting 1080 60 on my stream right now? Because that would answer the 60 question. I need to set it up for 30. I don't need 60 frames a second, and 1080 would be nice. Again, I have to look in. I'm pretty sure that Hangouts is only 720. But, I mean, what else to say? It comes with a USB 3.0 extension cable. I tried to plug it in with this at first because I'm a dummy. But and then realized, hey, that's just another USB. I'm like, what is this for? Of course, the HDMI is on the cam link. Stupid. Doing stuff live is fries your brain. But yeah, so I don't need a USB extension cord. I get it. Like if because it goes direct into the computer. The cam link is that one solid piece. So if you wanted to have that wrap around a computer or something, then that's what you would do. All right, I could stream 1080. Yep. I'm getting 1080 on YouTube for your stream, Juliet. Awesome. Well, thanks. So, hey, cool. That camera connection, the camera option in the dashboard of YouTube makes it super easy not having to go through another encoder. Go 720 if you want to be seen. Not sure what that means. Um, that's good. That's good news. I wish Hangouts would do 1080. I'm not sure why it doesn't. Or because of this webcam, the Logitech C920, that does 1080. But in fact, it says it right there on the face, HD 1080. So looks really good. Thanks, Prince. We'll say that there's a slight audio lag. Yeah, Juliet, was wondering about that, and I'm not surprised. There always is an audio lag when I use audio that's separate from the camera that I'm using in this case. So the only way for me to fix that, I think, would be to actually then go through an encoder and find out the shift that I need to make the audio not lag. All right, so Premiere Reviewer is getting 1080 as well. All right, well, hey, looks good. I mean, it looks awesome. Looks the way you'd expect the Sony A6500 to look. And I don't know that I have much more. So, oh, Philippe says 1080 okay. Sweet. All right, well, that's good news. It's been fun. I don't have any more. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here answering questions, but not a lot of questions. I don't think I missed any. Although I like to hang around. I like to hang out. But yeah, hopefully I will do. I don't know. I mean, I can't do a review right away because I don't know enough about it. Haven't used it enough. Again, seeing if it crashes, what James was saying. I probably need to optimize that some more so it won't crash. And then also be ready in real time when it does happen. Just plug in that webcam, although it might crash the whole stream. The audio interface I'm using is a 2i4 Focusrite Scarlett. However, that's going through there's a lot of stuff before it gets to that. That's the audio interface I'm using. But this SM7B is going through a DBX 286 in my mixer rack back there, or my rack mount case, whatever you want to call it. And that actually has a FET head in it. I don't need all this stuff. Surprisingly, the Focusrite that can actually push this thing loud enough. Even like you can do about 95% on the Focusrite, but it'll do it cleanly. So that's surprising because it's a relatively cheap interface. But anyways, DBX, FET head, DBX, out to a mixer, a Mackie mixer, which then all of that's going into the Focusrite. And I'm only doing that because of some of the weird setup that I have for the round table where I record the audio locally, as well as, of course, there's the recording on YouTube. And then also because I have the gear. So it allows me to plug in different things, different places, take different feeds out of it for recorders, but I don't need all that setup. I have it, so I'm using it. You're also getting 1080 on the stream, Salazar. Thanks. Before you finish the new studio, I missed the green tape. The green tape is still behind this. There's still some. I took some green tape down, but it's back there. This is a roll down paper, big giant roll down paper. The green tape is back there. It should be some type of bookshelf. Maybe audio diffusion is so much money. I built my own panels. You can see one back there. This is so hard to look at in the reverse. It's over there, the panel. I have a few of those. I just built a cloud that is right above me. So I'm working on getting this place sounding its best by building acoustic stuff. This wall is a major wall. It needs to be covered with something. And it has to look good because I care about how it looks. And but yeah, that's it. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna jump off the stream, but looks good. Happy with it. More to come. See you later.